The young Filipino boy steps onto the AGT stage with slow, cautious steps, as though each one carries the weight of his entire life. His small hands grip an old guitar with scratches and faded paint, a clear sign that it has been his silent companion through many difficult days. The bright lights of the stage hit his face, making his nervousness visible to every corner of the auditorium. His eyes scan the massive crowd, then the judges' table, where Simon Cowell watches him with a curious, slightly softened expression. The boy swallows hard, trying to steady his breathing. He has never performed in a place this grand before. He has only sung on street corners where people barely noticed him. The contrast overwhelms him, yet he knows this might be his only chance to change his life. As he stands on the red X in the center of the stage, his heart beats faster, but he keeps his gaze focused and determined. Simon asks him his name and where he is from. His voice trembles slightly as he answers, but there is honesty and humility in every word. The audience quiets, sensing both fear and hope in his tone. The judges lean forward, intrigued. Even before he sings, there is something about this boy, something pure, fragile, and powerful, that captures the entire room. The moment before he begins feels stretched, heavy with anticipation. He adjusts his guitar, takes one deep breath, and prepares to show the world the voice he has hidden for so long. The boy closes his eyes for a brief moment, gathering the courage that has carried him through years of singing on sidewalks and under dim streetlights. When he finally strums the first chord of Hotel California, it rings out softly but with unmistakable emotion. The sound seems to glide across the entire auditorium, instantly quieting the whispers and shifting the atmosphere into something more intimate. It is as if the whole room collectively leans in, drawn to the sincerity in the first gentle notes. His voice follows a heartbeat later, delicate, almost hesitant, yet carrying a depth far beyond his age. The tone is raw, pure, and filled with stories he has never spoken aloud. People in the audience exchange surprised looks, some placing their hands over their hearts as the boy's voice wraps around them like a fragile thread of truth. Each word he sings feels lived, not learned. There is no showmanship, no polished perfection, just real emotion delivered with a trembling soul. Simon Cowell straightens in his seat, eyes narrowing with genuine interest. He is used to great singers, but this boy carries something different, something painful, honest, and unfiltered. A quiet amazement settles over the judges' table. Sophia gently places her hand over her chest, while Heidi leans forward, captivated by the unexpected beauty unfolding in front of them. The boy continues, gaining a little more confidence with each line. The room grows still, as though afraid to breathe too loudly and break the fragile magic beginning to form from a single voice and an old guitar. People from around the world shared it, and soon they received a message from the producers of America's Got Talent, inviting them to audition. At first, they thought it was a scam. How could two kids from a fishing village possibly end up on one of the biggest talent shows in the world? But after some verification and with the help of local sponsors, they found themselves on a plane to Los Angeles for the very first time in their lives. When they arrived at the AGT stage, they were overwhelmed. The bright lights, the massive audience, and the judges' table all seemed like something out of a dream. Marcus held Lionel's hand tightly, whispering, "Don't be scared. Okay, well, sing for Papa." Lionel nodded, tears glimmering in her eyes. They walked out onto the stage barefoot because their shoes had been ruined by the rain the night before. The audience murmured softly, curious about who these two young kids were. Simon Cowell raised his eyebrows as he often did when he wasn't sure what to expect. "Hello," he said. "Who are you?" Marcus took a breath. "Good evening, sir. We're Marcus and Liana from the Philippines." Simon smiled slightly. "From the Philippines? That's a long way to come. What are you going to do for us tonight?" "We're going to sing," Liana said softly, her voice trembling. "Okay," Simon replied. "Let's hear it." The music began. Soft, simple, emotional. They chose to sing. You Raise Me Up. A song they said reminded them of their father. As soon as Marcus strummed the first chord, Lionna's voice rose like a gentle wave, pure, angelic, and filled with emotion. Then Marcus joined in with his deep, soulful harmony. The blend was unlike anything the judges had ever heard. The entire room fell silent. Even the audience stopped breathing. Their voices carried a pain that was beautiful. A story told through every note. When Lionna hit the high notes, her small frame shook and Simon could see tears forming in her eyes. Halfway through the song, Marcus took over the melody and Lionna harmonized above him with perfect precision. By the time they reached the final line, You Raise Me Up to More Than I Can Be, the audience was on their feet. People were crying. Heidi covered her mouth in shock. Sophia wiped her eyes. Even Simon Cowell, known for his harsh critiques, was visibly emotional. There was a moment of silence after the song ended. Then, suddenly, the entire theater erupted in cheers. The crowd shouted, "Golden buzzer! Golden buzzer!" Simon looked at the other judges, then back at the two young singers who stood on stage trembling and holding hands. Simon stood up slowly and said, "I have heard many duets in my life, but I've never heard anything like this. The emotion, the connection, the raw power. You two are something very, very special." He paused, his voice breaking slightly, "And I think your father would be so proud of you right now." And then, with a small smile, Simon pressed the golden buzzer. The gold confetti exploded from above, raining down on Marcus and Lionna. Lionna started crying uncontrollably, covering her face with her hands. Marcus fell to his knees, overwhelmed. The crowd screamed louder, and Simon walked up on stage to hug them. He said softly, "You deserve this. You've just made history." Backstage, their mother was watching the entire thing on a monitor. When she saw the golden buzzer, she broke down in tears. She hugged the producers, thanking everyone, whispering, "Thank you, Lord. Thank you." After the performance, their audition video was uploaded to YouTube and gained over 50 million views in just a week. People from all over the world commented things like, "This is what real music sounds like. And the love between them is the most beautiful thing I've ever seen." Filipino communities worldwide celebrated the moment, saying it was a proud day for their country. During the next round, Marcus and Lionna were even more confident. They performed A Million Dreams from The Greatest Showman. And the way their voices soared together made the audience cry once again. The harmony, the emotion, and their innocence touched every heart. Simon said after their second performance, "You two are a reminder that talent doesn't come from fame or privilege. It comes from heart, and you both have that in abundance." But behind their growing success was still a deep sense of longing. Every time they stepped on stage, they thought of their father. They said in an interview, "We're not just singing for the judges. We're singing for Papa who believed in us even when no one else did." As the competition continued, they faced tough challenges. Other contestants were older, more experienced, and had professional training. Marcus and Lionna had none of that. They practiced in their small hotel room, sometimes until midnight, perfecting their harmonies and timing. They couldn't afford fancy clothes, so they wore simple outfits that their mother had sewn by hand. But what they had was heart, and that's what the world fell in love with. During the semi-finals, they performed an original song they had written themselves called Waves of Hope. The lyrics spoke about loss, resilience, and never giving up. As they sang, a video montage of their life played behind them, their small village, their father's fishing boat, their nights under candlelight, and their smiles through hardship. By the end, the audience was in tears. The entire theater rose for a standing ovation that lasted almost a full minute. Simon wiped his eyes and said, "That was one of the most beautiful things I've ever seen on this stage. You've not only touched my heart, you've touched the world."